Mr. Subframe, your time has come. So this is the Moondust Silver car. So we've got the Moondust Silver paint. I've just done the first pass over the primer, and I think paint technology must have moved on a lot. I've not done this for a while, and the colour match, I wasn't expecting as good a colour match basically. Now this is still wet, I've literally just done it. But once that's been, well, once I've done another couple of coats on that, rubbed it down a bit, and then in a few days put the lacquer on, that's a very good finish for this, and I'm very impressed. I didn't expect it to look that good. I'm just going on the bits that need, all these bits, they're just a bit dirty, but there's nothing wrong with them, so I'm only doing the bits that I primed. I'm just tracing back that wire that we found underneath the back here, the old one that was for the alarm. And I noticed with this car that the interior, well, the boot light never worked that well. And I think what they've done there, if you can see, they've connected it to the light, so when the boot light comes on, the alarm goes off. I presume that's what they've done. I don't like, I don't like any aftermarket stuff like this because of problems like this really. But I need to unpick all of that, and then what I'll do is put an LED bulb in there and take all these old tails out. It's very messy. It's always an nightmare when people start cutting into electrics like that. There you go, there's 3 different wires chopped into that. So I have my soldering iron here and the solder sucker, and what I'm going to do is just heat these up and just unpick what they've done to get the alarm wires on there, and then we'll do a bit of heat shrink, wrap around that, put it back in, and that'll be the light sorted. There we go. That's one done. Let's get the big one done. There we go, so that's a bit tatty. What I'm going to do is just clean it up a little bit, and then I'm going to put a bit of heat shrink around it, and that will protect it. Obviously if we get any further problems, it's not a huge deal just to pull that out and to take the end off and put another end on there, so I'm happy with that. There we go. So I need to replace the clips for these. I need one here, one there, and then another one to go into this one, but I'll buy a pack, I'll buy clips for the whole car and make sure everything's on. I'm going to clean up this anti-roll bar, take the strip the paint off, treat the rust, and then give it another coating. These I've ordered new, so I've got these coming down, genuine brackets, and then these rubber bushings inside will be changed. So I'm going to take these off now and then give that a clean up. I want to struggle getting these off, so it's a usual problem. The rubber on here is sort of fused to the metal, so what I did, obviously that would be under there, I just put it on the ground and then hit it sideways, and that just lifts off. More straightforward than I thought, but yeah, give us a clean up and then we can reuse this. So it comes out really well actually, it really is just surface rust. You look at that side, it looks terrible, but actually this, the middle bit where I've done, it's absolutely fine, so I'm going to reuse that. At the time of filming this I just can't find these parts, so fortunately they can all be refurbished like this, and that's perfectly usable. Okay, I'm just going to take out the fuel pump now so I can get another one. Basically just pushing the clips around the outside and then take the top off, and then inside is your fuel pump. I'm going to reuse the sender unit because it seems okay. So obviously when I put it back in, before I do everything up, I'll power it up and check that the float is working. But let's get the fuel pump out. So yeah, push these little tabs in. Watch out I don't get loads of fuel in my cuppa. Okay, this bit needs to come out as well. So we just push the little tabs in, lift that out, and then we can pull out the inside because at the moment that's blocking it. So yeah, squeeze the little tabs in and very carefully just push the sender unit up. That should pop out. There we go, so we move that out of the way. Just want to be careful not to get these filings in there. Now we can lift this out and access the fuel pump. That needs a good clean. And there we go, so that's been in there, must have been in there 20 years. It looks like it's the original jobby. Filter's a bit dirty, so I'll take its connector off. And then just pull that out. Yeah, I can see the writing in there, that's original, 13th of the 2nd, 02 there. So yeah, original fuel pump, it's running fine, but these can just go suddenly, so we change it while it's out. Okay, the anti-gravil's turned up, I've got 6 of those, came down, and I'm going to start getting this on the bottom of the car. So it's all been primed and rust treated, all lovely and clean. Have a look under there, it's all as it should be. And I'm obviously going to just go around the welding holes. I'll put it back together and then we'll drive somewhere and we'll get that sorted out. So we'll get that sprayed on and see what happens. It seems I can adjust the texture by holding the can sort of closer or further away. So the further away I get a more standard looking kind of rippled texture. Right, if you're going to do this by can, this is the amount that one can does. So you get the section where the fuel tank sits and also a quick dusting over the spare wheel wells. So I've got 6 cans of it and I reckon that'd be about right. So I'm going to give everything else a coat. So go over all of this as well as I can, let it dry off a bit and then give it another couple of coats, and that should be properly protected. So the anti-gravel's on, that's had a day to dry and I'm really happy with that. It has several coats and yeah, it looks really good. It's completely sealed everything. Very happy with that. It seems to be quite a tough finish. Going to just unwrap all of this, get all those bits undone. Try to pay particular attention to this bit because this is very difficult to get to when all the suspension's back on, and that's the bit that tends to rust on a Focus. So I chose to do this with the spray cans because I don't have an air compressor. They're about 100 odd quid, and I thought, well, it's only on the back really, so this sort of little section I can do with the cans. It actually turned out okay. So I'm going to do the waxoyl now. So it's got this little spout on there, so what I'm going to do is go through, put the nozzle in all these holes and make sure it has a really good coat inside all the chassis rails. All of these bits here, a particularly good coat inside this and all around here. Basically anywhere I can get the spray into is going to have a very good coat of that stuff. I've got the clear stuff, so anything that comes out should hopefully blend in okay. We'll get it all in here and just really take the opportunity while all of this is completely stripped out, because we can get that in everywhere. Let's get the ABS sensor tucked out of the way. We're going to get that 2 covered. Okay, you go there. Stay. There we go. This has been in the car all day, so it's lovely and warm. And we just want to spray this everywhere because we ain't going to be able to get to this when it's all back together. Oh yeah, lovely stuff. This is the one for inside the chassis rails. The other one for the outside, the stone chip stuff, I don't really rate that much. Seems to come off, but this stuff is really good. Goes on lovely. What I'm going to do when I am not filming, I'm going to use the phone which I'm filming on to get the light in there and spray that. Maybe I can film with the light on. Let me show you. Yeah, look at that, what a great shot. Let's get the nozzle in there. Yeah, so we need to get it basically all over every single thing, and especially anything that is sort of rust coloured. On it in there, right to the back. Yeah, give it a proper coating, absolutely everywhere. So an ST170's favourite hobby is rusting exactly here, so yeah, give it a really good covering. I'll just show you what I've done in there. See if we can get a shot from underneath as well. So I'm going to spray that a bit more as well. I'm actually going to pick up some more of the waxoyl because I'm going to probably use a couple of cans on this car, a couple of 3 cans I reckon. And yeah, I need to do it in these holes here and just do it everywhere really, because these are, you know, 20 odd years old now. This one probably won't see rain again, but it needs to be properly protected because you never know. And it's if I'm doing all this work, or if anybody else is doing all this work, you might as well just protect it properly. So this is the other side, can you see in there? So just try to get that wherever I can. I'm going to get a few more of these cans because they don't go nowhere. Yeah, you see now, this is when I was being a smart ass and getting the bumper back on to film it, but I've blocked up the hole for the chassis rail, so I'm just going to whip this off, and then that will let me spray inside the rail properly behind there. La 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 la. You! So let's get the subframe and bolt it back onto the underneath of the car, so everything's nice and dry now. It's all been wax oiled, so let's crack on with it. Okay, we all having fun, yeah? I know I am. We don't need a jack. Right. Yeah, that's quite heavy. When it's only rib cage, it's a bit more heavy. Trapped. Get my spare leg up there. Ay, 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 ay. Chop, chop. The cramp is setting in. Oh, I can feel that, let me tell you. There we go. Takes the weight off the other side. Just get this bit done. Use the head. Nothing in there to get broken. Oh. Bloody Nora. Right, I'm going to take these out one by one and then put a bit of Loctite on each of those, just to be doubly sure. But there we go, subframe back in. So that's it, subframe back on. I've just nipped out in the van to get a few more parts, and what I'm going to do now is basically build it back up. It's like a big puzzle now. So I've got a few more bits coming down in the post, well actually quite a lot of bits coming down in the post, and yeah, I'll crack on with that on the next episode. Thanks for watching.